Finally, we get to buy graphics cards and not feel bad about it. Let's talk about it. So I think it's safe to say that GPU prices, well, they've been a little bit unfathomably awful over the last couple of years. They've definitely been at prices that are way too high to justify purchasing, especially when it came to new. But even the used market has been just absolutely terrible over the last couple of years, in no small part thanks to mining and a whole bunch of other different issues. So I'm very excited today to share with you guys that yes, GPU prices are actually at an absolutely fantastic place right now when you look at the RTX 30 series. Now, the RTX 40 series is definitely still going to be overpriced. So if you're looking at new 40 series GPUs, unless the 4070 and 4060 Ti come out at a reasonable price, yes, the 4070 Ti, 4080, and 4090 are all very, very expensive. And generally, I would tell you to avoid those GPUs. But today, we're going to be taking a look at the RTX 30 series because, guys, these cards are in some cases like dirt cheap, and you should seriously be considering purchasing one right now, like today. Like, go on your computer and start looking. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about. And in order to do so, let's go back in time and take a look at a chart that I've been putting together for a very long time. And yes, we're talking about the GPU price chart. And if we take a look here, what you're going to notice is that all the way back on the 4th month of 2022, GPU prices were absolutely terrible. Now, at the time, yeah, there were some absolute monsters telling you to purchase GPUs thinking they wouldn't go any cheaper, but they definitely have gotten a lot cheaper since then. However, there's also some interesting things I want to point out. So while you can see that the majority of GPUs have gotten significantly cheaper, one very odd thing that I've seen is that Nvidia new GPUs have actually gotten more expensive since the 9th month of 2022. So that's actually very odd, and I think it actually has to do with Nvidia stopping producing these GPUs altogether. So I will let you know, and we'll definitely talk about this further in a later video, but you should definitely be avoiding new Nvidia RTX 30 series cards and honestly 40 series cards in general, no matter where you're looking in the price chart, as they're just basically an absolute ripoff and have been an absolute ripoff for years at this point, and you just shouldn't be considering them. Now, there are thankfully some other options. We have used Nvidia cards, we have used AMD cards, and we also have new AMD cards that all represent far better value than these absolute rip-off new Nvidia cards. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the used market, because guys, it is banging right now, and you should definitely be taking a look at it, as they're around half the price of what they launched at new, which actually puts them at very, very good value, especially considering that for the majority of the RTX 30 series life, those cards were actually well above their MSRP, making these probably somewhere around a quarter or less the price of what they typically were going for when they're considered to be somewhat new cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at some specific examples, because as you can see on the chart, yes, the prices are good, but what is the best? Now, starting off with the RTX 3060, I did find one as low as $255 over on eBay, although there is about $20 of shipping, but that is actually far below what you can find it for when it comes to new. But actually, guys, there's even better value cards available that these things, I think they're gonna shock you. So let's take a look at the RTX 3060 Ti. Here I found one used on eBay for $290, and there's gonna be free shipping as well. So for $290 to get a 3060 Ti, which, mind you, will not be that far behind the RTX 4060 Ti, according to leaks and rumors, is going to be a steal, because the 4060 Ti is likely going to come in closer to $500, and even if it's 10, even 20% plus faster than the 3060 Ti, well, guys, spending an additional $200 plus after tax and shipping to get that card makes no sense. You're basically spending twice as much to get probably around 20% more performance. That makes no sense whatsoever. And right now, you should seriously be considering picking up these RTX 3060 Ti's on eBay, as $290 if you're building a new PC or trying to upgrade is an absolute banger. But let's go ahead and move on to another card that has me as hard as a supreme brick. That's right, we're talking about the RTX 3070. This one I found for $335. Now it does have $15 shipping, so it brings you to $350, and considering that it's roughly somewhere around only 10% faster than the RTX 3060 Ti, it does make it a little bit worse value than that $290 3060 Ti. However, overall still $350 for a card that launched at $500. I think that's a good deal and is going to be, once again, a much better option than picking up a 4060 Ti, as that's likely going to be somewhere around the performance of a 3070, or at best around 10% faster. And if you're talking about 0 to 10% faster, but you have to spend an additional $150 to get that, that makes no sense whatsoever, and that's an absolute clown move from Nvidia to think they can even get away with that. Now, we do also have cards like the RTX 3070 Ti for around $370. That's not too bad either. The RTX 3080 for around $525. That's not too bad. And we also have the RTX 3080 Ti for $650, which again, that's not horrible. It is going to give you around the performance of an RTX 4070 Ti, and it's going to do it for $150 cheaper. But I do truly believe the value lies in the RTX 3060 Ti and the 3070 that I just showed you guys. And I think the reason as to why these cards are so dang cheap right now is because they were very popular cards when it came to cryptocurrency mining. That's right, you better start screaming in the comments, because it looks like the cryptocurrency mining collapse has finally hit our shores. We are finally starting to see the repercussions of purchasing up hundreds of thousands, if not, who knows, millions of graphics cards and using them for mining, which of course is now completely useless. So now the price of GPUs is no longer determined by how much money they can make, but how good they are for gaming. And we are once again in a place where this really does feel like when you could pick up 1080 Ti's for $300, $350 a couple of years ago after the mining collapse happened back then. So I honestly believe that right now is probably one of the best times in history you could possibly ever pick up a graphics card. And I do highly suggest taking a look at used RTX 3060 Ti and 3070 cards on eBay if you're looking at Nvidia. Now, I will make a follow-up video when it comes to AMD, as AMD even offers better value than Nvidia in some cases, in fact, in a lot of cases. But today we're focusing in on Nvidia, and the last thing I want to leave with you guys before you purchase any graphics cards is A, I will have links to the specific models that I talked about in today's video, though you're probably going to have to be fast as they're probably going to sell out. B, I also would really highly appreciate if you could share this video so we can stop people from buying new RTX 30 series graphics cards. I think it's an absolute tragedy that people are going out and getting absolutely ripped off by buying these graphics cards when they have much better options that are some of the best deals I've seen in the history of graphics on eBay right now. And see, if you are a little bit worried about purchasing on eBay, do remember that eBay does tend to side with the buyer. In fact, they do it almost every single time without question, and they do have a pretty good money back guarantee. I've been ripped off on eBay a couple times in the past, and eBay took care of me basically immediately. In fact, being a seller on eBay sucks. Being a buyer is pretty good. Just make sure that they have a good reputation, inspect all the photos, and when you get the graphics card, make sure to do some tests to ensure that you got what you paid for and it doesn't have any issues. And if you do all that, you really shouldn't have any issues purchasing on eBay, and it's just going to save you a ton of money.
If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and Nvidia release new GPUs. Also, if you want to see more, check out one of these related videos. You won't be disappointed.